Um, yeah, such a wonderful opportunity to speak. Whenever Ramanavami comes around, I'm always reminded, and of course, listening to lectures by His Holiness Radhanath Maharaj, who gives continual lectures. In fact, someone just shared last year that he spoke for close to 5 hours here on Ramanavami in the evening. It was meant to be like an hour lecture, or an hour and a half, and it kept going, and all the devotees were just wrapped in ecstasy. So always a wonderful opportunity, but we have limited time this morning as the darshan will open at 8. So we'll try to speak something on the topic of Ramanavami, so Parents' Day of Lord Ramchandra. So we'll begin by reciting some prayers. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurumilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Vidati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavam Cha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gourange Radhe Vrindavanishwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Jai Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Ramanavami Mahamahotsav ki jai, Parents' Day of Lord Ramchandra Bhagavan ki jai. Okay, so Hare Krishna, everyone. We have limited time, especially if we're going to leave 10 to 15 minutes for discussion at the end. So we'll see how we go. I will skip some things I was thinking to do at the beginning and go straight to a couple of verses that are very powerful. And actually, this evening's Ram Navami theme is based on these verses from the Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Ramayana. So these verses, the first verse coming in the Madhya Leela of Chaitanya Charitamrita, chapter 22, text 33, and recited, given by Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. And he says, Krishna tomara haya yada bali ekabar, maya banda hoite Krishna tarakara par. And the translation is, one is immediately freed from the clutches of Maya if he seriously and sincerely says, and I think it's really important that we all say this together, If you want to be free from the clutches of Maya, that is. But anyone who doesn't want to be free from the clutches of Maya, you don't have to repeat. You can not do anything, and Maya's got you anyway, so no problem. So you can please repeat if you like. My dear Lord,
My dear Lord,
although I have forgotten you
although I have forgotten you
for so many long years
so many long years
in this material world,
this material world,
today
today
I am surrendering unto you.
I am surrendering unto you.
I am your sincere
I am your sincere
and serious servant.
serious servant.
Please engage me in your service.
Please engage me in your service.
I often feel like this. Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami says that the Trinadapi Suniche Navar should be strung on a thread of the holy name and worn around the neck at all times. I feel like this verse is also one that maybe should join it there, that we should daily try to pray to the Lord like this and make the process of Sharanagati an active principle at every opportunity to remember, I'm trying to surrender to you, my dear Lord. Please give me your protection. So after this verse, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami quotes the Ramayana. And he says, Sakradeva Prapano Yastava Shmiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarvada Tasmai Dadam Yetad Vratam Mama. And this is Madhya Lila, chapter 22, text 34. And he quotes, it is my vow that if one only once seriously surrenders unto me, saying, quote, my dear Lord, from this day I am yours, and prays to me for courage, I shall immediately award courage to that person, and he will always remain safe from that time on. So this is a quote from the Ramayana that Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami gives in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And this specific, many of you are probably familiar with where this is stated, where Lord Ram makes this quote. We have our pundits here. Vasudeva, where is this happening?
Lord Vibhishana approaches Lord Ram, and then there's some discussion if he's for real, and then Lord Ramachandra speaks this verse in this context.
Yes, beautiful. So basically this is from section more or less, which is based also on the drama today that will happen in the evening. So we'd like to encourage everyone to please be here present if you can for the drama, or at least watch online for the festival this evening. Yeah, this is Vibhishan's surrender. And Vibhishan has tried so much to give good advice to his brother, Ravana. So Vibhishan is the younger brother and the youngest sibling of the family, actually. And he has tried so much to give good advice to Ravana that basically you should just give Sita back to Ram. We don't need this hassle. It's only going to be the cause of our death. This is just, and he keeps giving this good advice. But unfortunately, the challenge is that when one is overwhelmed by lust, overwhelmed by pride, that the ear holes become covered by false ego, and it's not easy to penetrate them with the best of advice. So Vibhishan, after so much, he sees so many attempts to try to convince Ravan, and Ravan just won't listen to him. More or less, Ravan kind of banishes him, and he leaves Lanka, and he goes to the association, to the party of Lord Ram. And as Vasudeva was pointing out, there was some discussion, and that's a whole topic we could get into in and of itself, how Ram listens to and takes guidance and advice from his associates, his close associates whom he trusts. But then he makes the decision that no, it doesn't matter if Vibhishan has come here to surrender, I will accept him. I have to accept him. And then he says, actually, even if Ravan comes, after all of this turmoil that he's put us through, I will also accept him. So this is the merciful nature of the Lord. So really, really appreciate these verses, and just always like to remind devotees about them. And so brilliant how Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has included them, because in this way we see this is also the mood of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that we can easily approach the Lord and try to surrender in this mood of just trying to do our level best to surrender in whatever way that we can. So I wanted to cover something usually often the classes hinge on so many different topics that we're often familiar with from the pastime of Lord Ram. There's the bad association and influence of bad association that happens with mantra, K. There's the high level of integrity that Lord Ram has by just accepting the banishment to the forest and the accepting of Bharat taking the position of the king. How Lord Ram just immediately goes to the forest. He doesn't argue. He doesn't get into it. He really just goes straight to the forest. Then there are so many amazing pastimes that happen in the forest. There's the mood of Bharat, his brother, who didn't even know that his mother Kaikeyi was asking for these boons or benedictions in order to banish Ram, and who loves Ram with all of his heart, and how he goes to the forest and then he takes a vow himself that he also will, although ruling over the kingdom, he himself will consider like being in exile. And he therefore just puts Lord Ram's shoes on the throne and worships those shoes. And he himself lives like an ascetic during all this time. And then the Hanuman, the entrance of Hanuman. I mean, it's just such an amazing pastime. It's hard to know where to start. So I thought that it would be interesting. And for many years, I've wanted to put together a different presentation, mainly because of my own demoniac propensities, I guess, and being able to relate to the demoniac nature of others. That I think it's always good to look at the backstory of the demon in the past times, you know. So in this situation, we see the big demon is Ravan. And on the screen for all of you, I have two heads. I couldn't log in 10 times. I was thinking, let me log in 10 different places so I can represent the 10-headed demon of Ravan. But I can only log in twice. So I'm going to try to share my screen now, just to put this up. And I hope it works. And if it doesn't, I'm just going to skip it and get on. Right, because sometimes. All right, so I think you can see that, but I'm going to. Almost there. For some reason, it's giving me some grief. Try again. All right. I think let me know. You should be able to see this slide. And I'm sorry for those in the temple room. It's difficult enough to do it like this, but you all be able to hear. So on the slide, everyone online can see that. Slide, can I get a thumbs up?
Yes, Prabhu.
All right, perfect. Thank you. So it's nice, or not nice, but the backstory, and for everything, we know that with one action, Krishna accomplishes many things. And for every pastime in the Bhagavatam, there's so much backstory. You know, there's so many things that have gone on. And this is something that I also, unfortunately, I don't heed to enough. But the thing is that there's always something going on behind the scenes with people. We may be dealing with something that's happening to us directly at that moment, but we often don't consider for them what has gone on in their life before that moment, you know. And if we knew, sometimes we could have a paradigm shift where we actually change our mind about dealing with the situation in the way that we do. And of course, here we have the situation of Ravana, and it's not necessarily that we're trying to encourage everyone to become Ravan Bhaktas, but just to understand that there is a principle of many things that have gone on behind the scenes. And of course, we understand and know that the ultimate source of Ravana is that he is Jai, from Jai and Vijay in the spiritual world, who were cursed by the four Kumars, which is a whole nother amazing pastime that you can get into. And as soon as you start to unlock these things, there's just so many windows and portals in the Bhagavatam and in these different pastimes that you can go down rabbit holes for hours and hours and just discuss. But he is one of the gatekeepers of Vaikuntha who was cursed to become a demon in 3 different births. The first birth was, yes, Hiranyaksha and Hiranyakashipu, and they were ultimately killed by Lord Varahadev and Nrsingadev. Then their second birth was as, yes, Ravana and Kumbhakarna. So this is the birth that we're discussing. And their last birth was Shishupal and Dantavakra, who were both killed by Krishna. So this birth, so they're actually in this sense, we can see that also Ravan is Jivara Swarupoi Krishna and Hitchadas. He's ultimately a devotee of the Lord, but he's taken birth for a specific purpose. And that purpose ultimately is Krishna's divine will, that he wants to have the opportunity to have a good fight. So when he comes, he needs someone who's on the same stature, same sort of level that he can actually engage in this way with. And plus he had to honor the curse of the 4 Kumars. And so many things happen there. I have to be careful I don't drift off. So anyway, so like this, we see that Ravan's ultimate or original position is that of a devotee of the Lord, and a very sincere and prominent devotee of the Lord. But ultimately, he comes into this world, and when he takes birth as Ravana, he takes birth, very interestingly enough, that he is, where is this? Yes. He takes birth from, and some of you may be aware that he's born of 2 different personalities. One is Rishi Vishrava, who is actually a very learned sage in the lineage of Pulastya Muni. And he is also considered one of Brahma's mind-born sons. But his mother is Kaikeshi, and she's a Rakshasha demoness. And she's the daughter of Sumali, a powerful demon king. So here you have this great Rishi, Brahmana, and you have this demon wife, basically. So you have these 2 personalities. And actually, it's very similar to Diti and Kasyapa, that she approaches Vishrava at the inappropriate time for conception and wants to have children. And he says, again, it's not the best time, this is not the right place. And there's so many inauspicious influences, but she kind of pushes forward. And he says, okay, but if we do this, then similar again to that same pastime of Kashyapa and Diti, that basically these children are going to be born demoniac. And he says that basically this is not going to be a thing. And of course, she's very upset by this, and she's praying to him, how can we avoid this? And he says there's no way to avoid it, but he says that, but the youngest child will actually have dharmic qualities. He will have Brahminical qualities. He will have righteous qualities. And the youngest child actually is Vibhishan. So he grants that benediction, but he says the others will basically just be, vicious demons. So it's described that actually Ravan was born, different places say different things, but it's understood that he was actually born with 10 heads. And this is, anyway, if you have a child and your child's born with 10 heads, it's a good sign things are not going to go very good from the beginning. Just like I think it was when Duryodhana was born, there was the braying of asses and the howling of wolves and so many auspicious signs that were going on. So anyway, like this, he was born with these 10 heads. And in different places, it describes that these 10 heads actually represent knowledge of the 6 Shastras and the 4 Vedas, because it's considered, and we see also, I'm not sure if everyone could please mute online. It's explained that actually he's extremely learned, and in different places it's explained he was an incredible musician. He was actually an author. He did so many things. He had very, very high level Brahminical qualities. But just by Brahminical lineage, as we know, it's not just by lineage, that knowledge alone doesn't guarantee someone is going to be virtuous just because you have a lot of knowledge. And we know that there's in the pastime of Lord Nrsingadev, Hiranyakashipu espoused so much Vedic knowledge and wisdom. So Lord Ram also had all of this. But his Rakshasa nature reflects the dangers of unchecked ambition and pride. So knowledge, as we know, can lead to great pride. So he's really a representative of this duality of being possessed of great wisdom, yet arrogance. So Ravana was, in one sense you could say, not born evil, although he was, but it's a complex situation for Ravana. You know, he's got this heavy demoniac influence, but he also has this very positive, potentially positive influence from his father's side. So I want to discuss a few things that happened, and we're getting close to being out of time, and I'm just starting. So, one of the first things I have here is the signs of ultimate demise. So, the first one is an interaction with a personality. After Ravan comes, he gets a benediction. He's granted some benedictions. Anyone knows who he got the benedictions from?
Knowing already.
Can whoever's online, can you please all mute? Someone is unmuted, and I'm not sure if you were saying something or if there keeps being said. Was that a suggestion online? Who did he get the benedictions from? Who did Ravan get the benedictions from? Okay, you said Lord Brahma. Yes, a lot of people often will say Shiva, because it's usually Shiva who's giving these benedictions, but it was actually Lord Brahma. And Ravan was also a devotee of Shiva. In different places explained like that. So he got these benedictions from Brahma. And how did he get these benedictions? Because he went to a place and began performing intense sacrifice and austerity. And then he started, after each year or so many years, because this was also in Treta Yuga. So after so many years, he would chop off his head, one of his 10 heads, and he chopped off 9 of his 10 heads, and he was ready to chop off the 10th head. And Lord Brahma appeared, and he said, okay, you've appeased me. You've chopped off 9 of your 10 heads. So before you do that, what benediction do you want? And of course, what benediction does any demon want? To be invincible, that I can't be killed. So he is, Lord Brahma says, I can't give you that benediction, as he says to also Hiranyakashipu, because I myself personally don't have it. But I can give you any other benediction, please ask. And then, of course, he goes through, I don't want to be killed by this, by any demigods. I don't want to be killed by any other demons. And then he leaves out basically humans and animals. And he leaves them out because he just considers them as a Rakshasa. They're like a superior race. So he's like, humans are like just useless creatures. They're completely, insignificant. And animals, what worry do I have with any animal? I can kill anyone. So he avoids those two, but he gets this benediction. It's also described there that there was benedictions given to the others. Vibhishan was benedicted to be righteous and dharmic. Suparnika is also a sister, so she was also benedicted. I can't remember what benediction she got, but Kumbhakarna was about to asked for his benediction. And it's described that the demigods were saying to Brahma, this guy's already ferocious. Please don't give him any greater benediction. And then Lord Brahma prayed to his wife Saraswati, and Saraswati entered into the heart of Kumbhakarna and then took over his tongue. And then when he was ready to ask for his benediction, he said, can I please sleep for the whole year and only wake up one time a year? And then as soon as he said that, Brahma said, so be it. Sprinkled the water from his kamandalu. And then Saraswati left, and Kumbhakarna was like, what did I just ask for? Why did I say that? What's going on? And then he slowly went to sleep. So like that. So anyway, he had these benedictions. Immediately he went and he took over. He had another brother, half brother, and his half brother was Kuvera, who was the treasurer, thank you, the treasurer of the demigods. And so he went and conquered his kingdom and basically stole his what's it called? The chariot.
Pushpa Vimana.
Yeah, Pushpa Vimana. There's another name for it also. But yeah, but he stole the Pushpa Vimana and was flying around, which was like this palace. He's flying around in this. So as he was flying around, he was going over the Himalayas and he saw this beautiful, beautiful personality, this beautiful lady performing austerities, sitting in, yoga pose in the mountains. And he, being a very lusty person, he immediately wanted to enjoy her. So he went down from the Pushpa Vimana and took on a human form and approached her and, inquired and asked her, whose wife are you? And what did she say? I'm nobody's wife. I'm only going to get married to one person. And who's that person? Vishnu. And so as soon as Ravan heard this name Vishnu, he immediately became like filled with rage, and he said, no, you're going to become mine. And he grabbed hold of her hair, and as soon as he grabbed hold of her hair, she considered that she had been defiled just by the touch of Ravan. So she immediately pulled back and she took her hands and she severed the hair from her head. And she immediately said that now I'm going to quit this body because you've defiled it. And I was doing austerity so that I could get Vishnu as my husband. But because I've been insulted by you, I will take birth again. And in that birth, I'm going to appear from the earth, and I shall become the pious daughter of a virtuous man, and you and your entire race will be destroyed as a result of that birth. And we know that that birth is as Sita. So that's the backstory of Sita Devi. So she appears as from Vedavati to come specifically for the purpose of being the destruction. And this is also a good sign that we really have to be careful how we deal with ladies, because we know that chaste ladies have more potency than, demons, so many other people. So like that, just given the many topical activities that are going on in the world these days. So the next is an interaction with personality named Nandi, who is a servant of Lord Shiva. And he insults him because he gets back on his Vimana after this situation with Vedavati, and he's like, yeah, whatever. And he just carries on. And then he's traveling over and he sees Kailash, and he thinks, what a beautiful place. Let me go there. And when he goes, he interacts with Nandi, and he sees Nandi, and he's derides him because he has a sort of dwarfen type body with a big monkey head. And so he derides him and, starts kind of calling him names and saying, who's this monkey face personality? And then he becomes upset and offended. And he says that you disregard me in my monkey form. Therefore, I shall be born on earth as many monkeys of immense strength, and they will annihilate your race. So like this is where all of the Varnas come from, this pastime of Nandi and his offense. And what we're starting to see here is that, again, the backstory of Ravan, which is uncontrolled lust and pride. He's just committing offense after offense after offense, and all these things are just building up. So then he's in Kailash, and he begins, after Nandi leaves, then he begins to, like, with his 20 arms, shake the mountain. And Parvati becomes disturbed. And Lord Shiva's like, don't worry, it's just Ravan. He's just causing trouble. He can't harm you. Don't worry, I'll protect you. But of course, we know Parvati. If you upset Parvati, it's not going to be a good situation. So Parvati's eyes, it's explained, turned red, and she replied to her powerful husband, as this wretch has frightened a woman by his violence, his death shall be caused by a woman. So like that. So again, another curse uttered. And then after that, Lord Shiva, he has the whole situation because he's shaking the mountain and he's trying to lift Kailash hill. And then Lord Shiva just puts his toe on top of it and crushes him down, covers him over, because Shiva could actually just completely annihilate Ravan easily. But he doesn't. And then he eventually kind of gets free. He offers prayers to Lord Shiva. He becomes a devotee of Lord Shiva, seeing his immense strength. He gets a boon and benediction. Actually, he gets his trident, and he gets access to the Pashupati weapon like that. Then another incident is a personality known as Anaranya. And Anaranya is the predecessor to Dasyarat. So when Ravan is flying in his Pushpa Vimana, he goes over Ayodhya and he thinks, oh, let me just, go down here and take over this area as well. And he starts to fight with Anaranya and his army. And it's really good battle. But eventually it comes to the point where Ravan is about to kill Anaranya. And he's saying, just see, I've defeated you, you think you're so strong, but I've got you and I'm going to kill you. And Anaranya says, I've not been killed by you, O vile Rakshasa. Death is certain to everyone and comes to all beings according to their destiny. None can be killed before their fate decrees, nor can any be saved when their time is arrived. I am thus killed by my own fate. You haven't killed me. It's like just the ultimate insult, He's like, I'm not bothered by you because it's just my time to go. So don't be so proud and think you've killed me. And don't indulge in self-praise, Ravana, because your death will come soon. And then he says, in the very line that you now deride, O Ravana, there will soon appear a king who will kill you and all of your race. And who is that personality? Jai Shri Ram. Jai Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Shri Ram. And then the next one is, he is going back to Lanka, which is where Kuvera was. And he notices another beautiful maiden named Ramba. And he sees her and he thinks, wow, she is so beautiful. And he goes and approaches her and she's like, please don't do this to me. I'm as good as your daughter. Please, and I'm a married lady and, you shouldn't. He's like, I don't care about any of these things. It turns out that Ramba is married to Nalakuvara, who is the son of Kuvera, and Kuvera is the half-brother of Ravan. So, but he doesn't care about any of these things, and basically it's described that he forcefully takes her. And after this, it's a very heavy situation because, Ramba said that she was married to Kuvera. Considering all these, punishing Ravan, Nalakuvara touched water after this, and he uttered this curse. The evil Rakshasa has violated a celestial lady. If he ever again rapes another maiden, he will immediately fall dead. So Nalakuvara utters this curse, and Ravan heard the curse and understood it. And although he didn't really care for Nalakuvara or any of these persons, but he did understand the power of Brahman Tejas, and the fact that he's uttered this curse. And so basically after that, he swore that he would never forcefully take forcefully rape, basically, another lady. He obviously forcefully took Sita, but he never forced himself on her, knowing that at that moment he would also be dead. So next one is an interesting interaction with Narada Muni. And it's really amazing how Narada Muni obviously shows up everywhere, but he also approaches Ravan. And Narada Muni and Ravan seem to have a good relationship because Narada Muni is always giving him what appears to be good advice. Narada Muni is like, most sages, they stay away from the demons, but Narada Muni is like, no problem, Oh, great wise Ravana. So then he says to Ravana that, basically, don't worry about these humans, different persons, because everyone's going to die. And why are they going to die? Because everyone has to go to the abode of Yamaraj. So you should fight with Yamaraj, actually. And if you can kill Yamaraj, then the whole universe will be yours. So Narada Muni knows that there's no way he can kill Yamaraj, but he's encouraging him to go and increase his sinful activities and his karmic debt. So he goes and fights with Yamaraj. And eventually Yamaraj and him, they wind up fighting face to face, and Yamaraj is literally about to kill Ravan, and Lord Brahma appears. And Lord Brahma says that, no, you're not destined to kill Ravan, so don't kill him. Actually, there's another person who's destined to give, and I gave him a benediction also that he can't be killed by any demigod. So even though you have the potency to kill him, but there's someone else who's going to come in the future and will kill him. So then he asked him to basically just let it be. And so Yamaraj left and went away. And at that point, it became clear that actually something else is going to happen to Ravana. And from that point, then the story of the Ramayana picks up usually. And we hear about Dasyarath and his desire to have a son, confirmed, and so many different things and like that. Anyway, there's so many stories. So I've just kind of rushed through this a little bit. But hopefully everyone got a little bit of an insight into the backstory of Ravana. We're always hearing about Ram, and we're tired of hearing about Ram. We just want to hear about the demons for a change. So we get to hear about the backstory and how all of these things, ultimately the actions, and sometimes we don't see how this action, that action, that action, that action, and we keep going on and we see that Ravan still remains strength, has so much strength, and he's so able to defeat so many different personalities. And we think, well, why didn't he die after the first time? After the curse of Vedavati, after this curse of Nandi, after the curse of Ananya, Anaranya, so many personalities cursing him, but it was all building up. And all this bad karma, all of these curses were building up, just waiting for that moment when Lord Shri Ram would come and fire that arrow, I think it's called the Ananta Hridai, into the heart of Ravan, to actually finally kill him and defeat him and destroy him, something like that. Okay, so I will stop there. If anyone has any reflections, anything else to share, any questions? Yeah.
Are Kumbhakarna and Ravana, are they also born?
I don't think they're twins. I didn't see that was Ravana is clearly the older brother. But of course Hiranyakashipu was also the older brother. They were twins, but I didn't see that they were born as twins.
From one conception, then you have these two.
Yeah.
They had.
But I don't think Shishupal and Dantavakra, they're not twins either, right?
Yes, no.
I think they're cousins or something.
That's it, this way. This way.
Sorry?
Actually, this way.
Is someone speaking online? Someone would like to share something?
Yes, Prabhuji, I want to have a question.
Yes, I'm Nitai Prabhu.
Dandavats, I wanted to ask you if because I came in a little bit late to the lecture. Did you speak about how Lord Ramachandra's arrow goes like to the three worlds before it hits Ravana? Or can you speak about that briefly? Hare Krishna.
I didn't speak about that, and I'm not sure that I can speak about that just on the spot. I haven't, yeah, I'm not sure that I remember hearing that, but it's probably quite possible. Have you heard that before, that it went to the worlds? Yeah, I haven't heard that. I guess what I've read is that when he fires it, it goes straight into the heart of Ravan and then basically destroys him. But of course, Lord Ram can do anything, so that may be there. But please forgive me, I'm not really so brushed up on that aspect, and I didn't cover that. So sorry about that, Narottam Nitai.
It's okay. My Dandavats, Hare Krishna.
So, so Prabhu, a quick question. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Yeah.
So, so Ravana makes derogatory remarks against Nandi. Nandi is a bull shape, right? I mean, like, but it's just a derogatory remark, like monkey, or
Yeah, and that's what I was also a little confused. My understanding was that Nandi is also like a cow, but yeah, somehow in the Ramayana where I was reading, it was describing that he has a monkey-like face. So I don't know if it was that Robin was looking at the cow and thinking like that, but it described that he has like a dwarfen body and a monkey-like face. So yeah, maybe that's something to investigate a little more.
okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Krishna. Anyone else? Okay.
How did Lord Ram allow such crazy injustice towards Mother Sita, allowing her kidnapping and assault, knowing that he could save her any minute by the snap of his fingers, being the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Is that funny to Lord Ram to play with his devotees like that?
Um, well, one thing is that it's certainly Leela, the Lord's Leela, and it unfolds specifically for the purpose of teaching all of us a lesson. Plus, Lord Ram is playing the part of a righteous king and human being, so he's not playing the part of being God and snapping his fingers and just killing everyone around him. And he immediately tried to go and save Sita. So it wasn't like he just went on vacation or something like that and said, well, whatever, I'll catch up with her later. He with full force and went to try to find Sita, and then eventually he did capture her. So it wasn't it was, let's say, it was all part of the divine plan. And but the devotees, any difficulties just increase their intention to take shelter, as we heard in the opening verses, to take shelter of the Lord. So when there's difficulty, there's more opportunity for us to take shelter of the Lord. So like that. So Queen Kunti prays for calamities. We don't need to pray. They come of their own accord. But like that, then we can take shelter of the Lord. So I think the darshan is about to happen. So we'll go for darshan now. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you very much. Happy Ramanavami. Hare Bol.
Thank you, Jai Nitai Prabhu. Darshan time, cameras, please, if you can. Annabelle, Isaiah, thank you. Vanu Madhuri, Hare Krishna, Hare Rama. Nice to see you.
Dinam Bhagavantayarindharayatacham Bhagavatam Tavasitam Nagasurandarankam Kandapakoti Kamariya Ijeta Chusha Sobha Yami Govinda Vai Purushan Amaham Bhajavi Govinda Vai Purushan Amaham Bhajavi Shri Radha Muralidhar ki Jai, Gaur Chandra ki Jai, Shri Ramchandra Bhagavan ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Lotus feet of our spiritual master are the only way by which we can obtain pure devotional service. I bow down to his lotus feet with great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus feet. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desire. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him ecstatic prayer emanates. By him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures seal his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy. One of the poor Lord Master. O Master, be merciful to us. Give us the shade of your lotus feet. Your fame is spread all over the free world. We take shelter of your lotus feet. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jai Srila Prabhupada. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Any questions, reflections, anything that stuck out to you that you'd like to share, please go ahead. Emily, what's your takeaway? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Cool. I'm using a new speaker. I got here late. Sorry. So I just heard Jai Nitai Prabhu speaking as lovely as he always does. And then you announced Darshan and I said, okay, let me pop on. So unfortunately, I missed the bulk of what you guys were talking about. But it's so inspiring to be in the room with so many beautiful people. I was just thinking how lovely this opportunity is for us to all be on Zoom for such a thing.
This is not a room, this is the forest of Naimisharanya with all the sages and sagelings, Isaiah and Abel, Sage and Sky are sagelings, where everyone is engaged in hearing and giving their attention to Krishna. Naratam Nitai Prabhu.
Yeah, Dandas, I just wanted to add in a little bit. I know that like back in India in the older days, like before the advent of Mahaprabhu, there was some of the brahmanas had and previously intentionally changed the Mahamantra to have Lord Rama's names first, then Krishna's names, and then after advent of Mahaprabhu, it got changed to the proper Hare Krishna mantra with Krishna first, and then but it just wanted to state that because like in terms of like the Kshatriya mindset, I guess Lord Ramachandra being a great Kshatriya. So I wanted to add that Hare Krishna. Sorry, I'm like not good at lecture.
Thank you, Narottam Nitai Prabhu. That is very valuable. Anyone else, please? Okay. All right, Isaiah. You know what that means? Annabelle, Sage, Sky. If you're here, please unmute yourself. Chin Hare Krishna. I see Sky getting ready. Hare Krishna, Sky. Sage. I see Sage. All right. Okay. Let's do it. What's that? Beautiful drawing. Beautiful.
Yeah. Sing first, okay? Yeah. Sing. Yeah. Let's sing first.
Very cool. That is very super cool. Thank you.
Sky, stop. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare.
Great. Thank you very much. Okay, now let's go to the paintings. Who's that, Sage? Who's that? A polar bear?
Tell me what it is.
Sweet. I see the sun.
It's a polar bear. She did a savannah scene. The water.
Nice.
This is I think it's the different one. It's the freshwater. Freshwater, yeah.
Sweet. Thank you very much. Beautiful art. Beautiful. Who's that little guy there? A camel?
Which one?
Who's that yellow guy?
Who is that? It's not. It's a. All right. It's a. Well, think about it and put it in the chat. What is this place? That is the it's a desert fox. Desert fox. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I was close. Okay. Dear devotees, thank you for your association. Lord Ram is in charge of our bhakti world. He's the ideal king who gives shelter and protection, and he knows what's going on.
He even knows what's going on with the desert fox.
Yeah. Do you have any desert foxes on your farm, Bhima Prabhu?
We had foxes. They were a little family, used to keep our barn clean of mice and moles and rats. They were a beautiful little family, but Ram got jealous and Ram chased them off, chased the whole family off the farm. It was a sad day to watch them packing and leaving.
Yeah, padam yadvi padam. It's a danger every step. We can't get too comfortable here.
Yeah, even when you got four legs, it's padam 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 padam.
Yeah. Oh, nice! You got another verse down, Dean. Good. Okay. I see Agasura also, a giant snake. Yeah, see, this is Naimisharanya forest. Everything falls into place now. Thank you. Okay, Hare Krishna, we love you and we need you. Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.